Welcome back to the channel once again, and thank you so much for watching our videos always. I'm happy to come your way today, and I have some other issues I want to clarify on the platform. About 3 to 4 weeks ago, I released a video about Okomfour Black, and Okomfour Black is the son of Ghanaian musician Mzbel, and this interview went viral not just here in Ghana but across Africa, in Europe, in America, everywhere. People actually reacted to the video, and today I'm here to respond to a couple of things that people have raised on our YouTube platforms, on our Facebook, across all social media platforms, and some commentaries that has come out as a result of what the boy said. Now, I want to set the record straight. I happened to chance on a post on Facebook, and the person said that the interview I had with Okomfour Black, Mzbel's son, was actually scripted. It was planned, and I want to put it on record that that particular interview, it's not a scripted interview. If you really know how videography or how video editing and how films are being produced, you bear with me to know that the interview was not scripted. The part that talks about religion, it was not scripted. Now, this is how the whole thing started. Personally, I reached out to Mzbel and I spoke to her and told her that, Mzbel, I want to have the opportunity to interview your son, Okomfour Black. I'm here to clarify things because people feel that it was scripted and it was a way to promote the boy Okomfour Black. But that is not the case. So I want to set the record straight. Now, personally, I'm the one who reached out to Mzbel. I told Mzbel that, Mzbel, I really want to interview your son. Now, people have asked, what is the motive behind the interview? I have been with Mzbel and the family for some time now, and I've had a lot of conversations with Okomfour Black. But Okomfour Black is interesting, especially when you are having any conversation with him. So I decided that I want to have a conversation with him because when it comes to technology, he has a lot of ideas to share. So that was the main motive of me going out there to interview the small boy. So most people are saying that, why do you have to go and interview a small boy? What does he know? Why are you asking him about religion? That was not the main motive of the interview. My main motive of the interview was to go and have a general conversation with the boy. Now, if you have watched the full video of the boy, you realize that from the beginning, I asked him that on his social media handle, that is Instagram, he has this name Okomfour Black. And here in Ghana, Okomfour, I wanted to know because anytime the name Okomfour pops up, we know that it represents a traditional priest. So, if you watch the video very well, I asked him, why are you called Okomfour Black? Why are you called Okomfour Black?
I was a fan of Black Sheriff and I wanted to use his name in my name, but anytime I try, it never worked. But I went to Kumasi and I saw the Okomfour sword. So, my mom used to call me Okomfour JC, but then I said Black Sheriff. If I remove the Sheriff and I put Okomfour there, I get Okomfour Black.
And this boy narrated a story about Okomfour, where he visited the great traditional priest Okomfour, and according to him, he was with the mom in Kumasi where they visited Okomfour's sword, and the mom told him the story behind the sword, so he adopted the name Okomfour. Now he is a fan of Black Sheriff, so he decided to adopt Black. So he chose the name Okomfour Black. So I asked him if he was a Christian, and he said no. That was where I became very curious. I asked him, are you a Christian? He said no. Are you a Christian?
No, please.
Have you been to church before?
Yes, please.
How many times? Do you remember the age? How long? So you are not a Christian. And then I asked him that, who created you? Now, this is what brought about the hula baloo and the conversations around, and still on social media, people are reacting to what the boy said. Now, I asked the boy, who created you? And the boy said that my mom gave birth to me. Who created you?
My mother. She gave birth to me.
No, Adupa, you didn't get my question very well. Who created you?
I believe through science, human beings were born, not created. And if human beings were created in the first place, I never got to see God as my father or God as my mother. The only person who cared for me is my mother. She buys my clothes, she buys my food, she pays my fees, she does everything. God doesn't do anything for me. And if I'm supposed to stand here and say he has done something for me, I'm supposed to ask. And I say he gave money to my mother. He never came and said my mother should collect the money that he's giving.
Now, a lot of people feel offended about what the boy said, but I don't think that the boy insulted anyone in the interview. The boy was very plain, and I asked him, who created you? And he said that my mom gave birth to me. Now, this is where the controversy started. Now, the interview actually was around 40 to 45 minutes. But after the interview, after our editing, I had to play the video back to Mzbel, I mean the boy's mother. And after the mother watched the video, we had to sit down and re-edit the video again and take certain things out. So I'm telling you that that 18 minutes video that you watch on YouTube, that was not the original length, but the length was more than 18 minutes. Now, with what the boy said, the boy has come under a lot of attacks on social media. Most especially Christians have criticized the boy. Some have insulted the boy. Some have rained curses upon him, not just the boy, but the mother. And this is the big question I keep asking myself. Why are Christians like that? Why can't we tolerate people? Personally, I'm a Christian, so I find it difficult when I see people or Christians criticizing the boy. Now, the boy raised legitimate questions that needed answers, but instead of Christians coming out to at least address what the boy said, they rather attacked the boy. And that is where I have a problem with my own Christian brothers and sisters, pastors here in Ghana and across the world. A lot of people reacted to the video with insult instead of coming out to answer the boy, because the boy raised legitimate questions, and these legitimate questions needs answers. Do you believe in Jesus Christ, that he came to die for our sins? Do you believe that?
I don't actually think we died for any sins, or he died for sins. Because if he is the Almighty and he didn't want us to sin, he should have just made sin not exist. He could have made the word sin not exist. So why did you create sin in the first place if you don't want us to sin? It means you are setting up a trap for human beings to sin. It means you intentionally created hell as a hellhole for people to go in.
I believe that as people, if you go and evangelize to someone and the person raise some questions, you as a believer, you are supposed to answer. But what we heard on radio and on TV here in Ghana and across the world, people were actually insulting this boy. It hurts me so much that Christians were not able to answer this boy with the questions that he raised. And I feel that this was legitimate questions that he was asking. I've had an encounter with a lot of people. People have called me after this interview, and most of them are telling me that the question the boy was asking during the interview are questions they've been asking themselves, but they've not been able to come out to ask those questions. So they were happy the boy has asked those questions. But the point is that why is it that Christians and the pastors who chastised this boy never answered this boy, but rather they tend to insult him?
God is doing, if he's there, he's trying to do it so no one can stand up to him. But no, there are people there who are in the 5D consciousness, who understand this.
Adipa, where do you believe after death? Where do we go to?
I believe we go where we want to go to.
Why do you have to even put this interview out? I decided to put this interview out for some reason, and I'm going to share one or two with you. Now, how many Christians who have children who are of the same age like Okomfour Black, 10 years, can actually defend the Christian faith like the way this boy defended his faith? How many Christians, parents, have been able to, because some have raised concerns and questions on social media that the mother has indoctrinated him, this is bad doctrines from the mother, this is that, a lot of things people are saying. But you are criticizing this boy and the mother, but have you been able to nurture your children to the point that they will be able to defend the Christian faith just like what this boy did? And it is so sad that we couldn't address this issue very well, but rather we insulted this boy. I was on social media, and there is this pastor here in Ghana called Kum Chacha, and the way Kum Chacha actually addressed the issue, I was so shocked and surprised.
Sunsumati umuye bronsam sunsum. Papa dia beba.
O beka say this is extreme.
What's it?
Extreme, I say.
Sunsumati umuno. Eya bronsam sunsum. Eti yanso no ye betre say ya bronsam sunsum na ti umu ebe ya bebo modin se ya be ko atia. Ebi say sa beka say nyame ni ho. Ena nya ye nyankopon ye ni ho agro. Psalm 14 verse 1. Wasu obi okase nyame ni obi a we yejeje ntwie Bible kase obi yejeje ntwie a etese kwase aba ko ma ko 2000 ai yatam so the 5.
Because as a prophet, Kum Chacha, you claim you are a prophet here in Ghana. I was expecting you to answer, because as for you, Kum Chacha, we know you know the Bible. You've been quoting quotations here and there anytime you have the opportunity to be on radio or TV. So I was expecting you to use your Bible to actually defend or to answer the boy, but rather you insulted the boy. Now there is this pastor in Kumasi, Evangelist Akwesiwa, a renowned evangelist in Kumasi in the Ashanti region here in Ghana, also was on radio to say that this boy, what he is saying, God doesn't need people like that. This boy is of no use to God. And I was like, my God, how can a man of God speak like that? Now I call out 12 years, so can't I mean a pie. Why are they? Oh, that's why I come for. The bill not call out 12 years. I see the mini was and consider because such a part, no, back away. And I will fast what be ending in Sumayame. And fast what be ending in Sumayame to a country somewhere. You claim that this boy is of no use to God. God doesn't need this boy. Are you God? And there is this another counselor here in Ghana, Counselor Udro. I must say that this woman, I'm very, very disappointed in her. She's one person that I respect so much. But after her utterances on United Showbiz, on UTV, I was very, very disappointed in her.
Whether a traditionalist is no one's business. But the problem is this. They will GD and GD. But the moment you go against the will be GD, we won't sit down. But they need me GD. Because I have not come and a Christo form by against Obidu GD. Maybe tell Bible. They will GD any fa. So me make a sense here, they will GD. Don't dare go against my own. Maybe Bible say Psalm 14. Also, Kwasiano say, Namibi Niho. But then if you say science, what is science?
Now, nobody can fight for God. Nobody can defend God. So those of you on social media who think that you can fight for God, you can defend God. No, God doesn't need you to defend him. God doesn't need you to fight for him. Rather, if you feel that there is a lost soul, the best thing for you to do as a believer is for you to pray for that lost soul, but you don't insult. Why are Christians like that? Here in Ghana, pastors preach on radio and TV and go like, let me use our local language, then they quote the Bible and tell you that idol worshiping is foolishness. We sit on radio, we sit on television and see that idol worshiping is foolishness. Then we quote the Bible to support those utterances. But I don't remember, or I can't recollect any day where anyone or any traditional believer has also come out to insult us Christians. So I find it difficult to understand those of you insulting the boy. I believe that let's keep the conversation going. It will be very prudent for us to answer the boy, because so far I've not heard any pastor come out to actually answer the boy. Let me say kudos to Prophet Bernard L. Bernard Eshen of Spirit Life Revival Ministry. This is a man of God who also did a video during one of his preachings in church. He spoke about it, but I like the way he handled the issue. Prophet El Bernard never attacked the boy, and I was so happy with his submission. I think you can go online to go and check out what Prophet El Bernard said about Mzbel's son Okomfour Black, and a few pastors have also responded, but majority of the pastors and Christians we have here in Ghana, in Nigeria, and across the world, most of them are insulting the boy. They are saying so many things against the boy, for which I believe that is not the way to go. Thank you so much. And those of you who said it was planned, trust me, this interview I had with the boy was not scripted to come and run down Christianity, because I am a Christian, so I will not let anyone run down where my faith lies, but rather it was a conversation that brought in the things that you heard in the interview. But overall, I will tell you that this interview I had with this boy is one of the best and the greatest interviews across Ghana and across the world. People have really enjoyed that interview. The interview went viral and it kept everyone talking about it on social media, and we are so grateful for watching the video. Those of you who shared our video, keep watching our video. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, kindly subscribe to the channel. You like our video, and we have more for you.